Good evening. How are you today? Welcome to day 7 of 12 days of communication and confidence. This series is for parents who want to improve communication with confident teen girls. Thank you for joining me. If it's your first time watching, either live or on the replay, welcome. My name is Tahira Bell. I'm a life coach for teen girls, and I love working with girls to really help them confidently make decisions that serve who they are, serve who they want to be. I support them as they set goals for themselves, and I always try to make sure that we come from a place where they're discovering who they are on the inside, and that's who they start to share with the world and figure out what exactly it is that they're going to do to make an impact. Feel free to comment. This can be a conversation. I'm kind of doing these like mini trainings, but I love your questions. Thank you for those of you who have commented and messaged me with your questions. Tonight's topic actually came from posts I've been seeing all over social media. In the spirit of the holiday seasons, we are going to talk about what it means to really be present for your teen girl. And if you've been scrolling through Facebook or Instagram at all, I'm sure you've seen posts about how what your kids really need is for you to be present rather than get them more presents. Presents, not what they need. Presence is the presence we're talking about, and that is what they need. So I want to really connect that to improving communication and building their confidence, because those are the themes of these 12 days. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to say hi in the chat so I know who's watching and I can at least say hello. We're just getting started. We're going to talk about what it means to really be present with your teen girls, especially when we have this time over the holidays. So many of them are starting to get out of school. Final exams are wrapping up this week. Some of them, like my kids, are already out of school. What better time, okay? So you know me and the dictionary definition. I love to break down the meaning of words. So let's just start with what it actually means to be present, okay? Being present is literally occurring at this time right now. It's literally an ability, and I love this definition for our purposes tonight, the ability to project a sense of ease. How nice would it be to be able to do that for your daughter, right? Wouldn't she really want to come to you then? An outward display of what's on the inside. So that's presence as a noun. Your aura, the verbal and nonverbal cues that you're giving off that would help her either connect or not connect. So we're going to talk about what that really looks like, okay? And let's take a minute to just look at what keeps us from really being present, really being in the moment with our girls, okay? Work, activities, demanding careers, demanding schedules, obligations outside the home. We're on committee after committee. You sit on the board at different organizations. We're busy. We are stressed, right? There are so many distractions. The time that, once upon a time would have been spent together as a family at the dinner table is broken up now, right? One kid's coming and eating, the other one's going. Somebody's coming home from practice, somebody's leaving, right? We're all over the place. And it really does take away that time to connect. So now more than ever, we have to be really intentional about it. Being present is going to really require a very, very conscious decision on your part, okay? And yesterday when we talked about how you want your daughter to learn how to value herself, I saved this idea for today because you are still, believe it or not, even when she's a teenager, one of the most influential people in your daughter's life. She may not tell you that, but it's the truth, okay? So of all the people that can show her that she's valued, you as her parent are one of the most important ones. So we're going to talk about that and look at why it's so important to really take advantage of this opportunity to be a leader in your family, right? Within the circle that's your family. You have a very special role in your daughter's life. Don't let it go to waste, right? So let's talk about how to really make those moments count. You're here, so I already know that you are committed to making an impact on your daughter's life. You're committed to helping her, okay? We're going to talk about, and really my inspiration behind these 12 days is figuring out a way for you to invest that time and make it really meaningful and take the holidays to improve your communication. So if that's something that you're needing in your family or with your daughters, you're in the right place, okay? Knowing that you value her is huge, okay? Knowing that you as her parent value her is huge in building her confidence. I've had clients tell you this, and I've shared this with you already this week, that they want that connection. They want to be close to their parents, okay? So we're going to talk about some very specific ways you can do that. I'm going to give you some simple ideas that you can try. And I'm going to argue that it's not enough to just be in the same room at the same time on your respective devices, okay? We're talking about improving connection, improving communication. We want you to be the go-to person when she needs something. So let's talk about how to do that, okay? What kinds of things can you do with your teens? And I'm going to just throw out some examples that are different from what we talked about yesterday. Okay, yesterday the focus is showing her how she can value herself, showing her how you value her. But today I really want to talk about showing her how you value her by making a deeper connection and just taking a minute to just really think back to the types of activities you do. What are the things that you're doing when you're together at home? How are you spending your free time? Do you play games together? Do you ever sit down and play cards with your teen? I had an 8th grade girl tell me a couple months ago that she missed that family time. She said when she was younger, her parents had, family game night, family movie night. But as they got older, it didn't happen so much. And I know that as our kids get older, we feel like they don't need us as much, right? But that's not true. Even though she's pushing you away very frequently, that's the case. And I get that. Know that she still desires that time. Even if she rolls her eyes about it, I promise you, if you stick with it, you'll all enjoy it. So what I love about playing games, my family, we love to play Taboo, even with the little ones, right? You see a side of her that you may not see on the regular. I know you know them. I know you know their personalities, but what about when she's being competitive? Is she funny? Does she have a sense of humor that doesn't come out a lot? Does she, handle losing well? Is she a sore loser? Like, is this something you can really use as a teachable moment down the road? You can start seeing different things about who she is and know where you can support her, right? Is she so stressed? And trust me, they're all stressed and just needs to laugh and let her hair down. A funny movie, a game, they do that. It gives them the opportunity to feel like they're your equals. If you're playing Monopoly, you're all on your own team. There's no advantage to being the parent per se over the teen. So they can just feel like you're their competition. There are a lot of games where you can give them an opportunity to perform. Teens love to perform, especially if they're in groups. So if you had a group of them together, if you have siblings and you play any kind of game that involves them performing, they love that, okay? Another idea, when's the last time that you try something new? We kind of have our default, family activities, right? But, I took a group of teens last year. I used to go every year, and this is the first year in a while that we haven't done it, but I take them ice skating. And, after the photo shoot, because they all have to get their photo shoot so they can post it on their respective social media platforms. After that, when I actually say, okay, put the phones up and skate, even the ones who've never been skating before, they have fun, they laugh. It's almost like they're kids again. They play games, they do races. Like, these are teenagers. I'm talking 9th through 12th graders at the ice skating rink. Have you done that as a family? What about a new workout class? And let me tell you, for those of you with boys, because I know some people have been tuning in and, telling me that they have sons, and some of the same stuff applies, but for boys especially, just as a side note, if you can do something active, they're more likely to talk to you, okay? That's a boy tip for you. But a workout class, a spin class, or something with your team you've never done. I love boxing. Take her to a boxing class. What if you were to train together for something like a 5K, right? You can make it a challenge. Teens love a challenge, right? You can have I had one family actually do a challenge. I think it was the group of teens and their friends versus the parents. They did all kinds of stuff. One time they did a 5K. One time they did like a kickball game. It's fun. It's active. They love it. Another thing, I'm based here in Atlanta, and it's so easy to take for granted the things that are local, the things that are part of, my city that I see every day. When's the last time you've been a tourist in your own city? Go somewhere that you haven't been. Do it together. Have her pick. Remember, we talked about that yesterday, giving her those opportunities to make, the grown-up decisions. Ask her if there's somewhere in your city you've never been that she wants to go. In Atlanta, we have, mountains nearby. We have lakes. There's a place, I can't think of the name. I think Toccoa Falls. An hour away. I'd never even been there before. I've been here for years. So we just went one day just to see it. It's something to do, something new, and it's fun, okay? What about supporting a cause together? If your family is involved in any type of charity work, what can you do to empower her? What can you do to give her a leadership role? What can you do to make it a challenge even, right? We just talked about that, but that's something else that can bring you together on the same team to rally for a certain cause, right? What if you have a competition? This works really well, especially if you have siblings. And I have one, like a mother-daughter duo, and they do these cooking contests. I don't know if they do them regularly, if it was just one time, but they both love to bake. So they bake something, and it's kind of like a cook-off, and let the rest of the family be a judge, okay? I'm just throwing stuff out there at you. If you need more ideas, I'm happy to help you. But the point is to do something that's outside of your norm, to get out of that rut of the day-to-day, right? During this time, okay, this is not when you want to be giving a whole lot of advice, okay? Remember, we talked about that. They don't really want your opinion necessarily. Deep down, they already know it. In these moments, especially when you're trying to build that communication and bridge that gap and have fun with your team, please promise me that you're going to try your best. I know it's hard not to give advice, okay? Just let them be. You can make a mental note of the things you want to bring up in a conversation later, but make this time intentional. Be present, okay? Make it about the fun you're having. Here's another idea. I love this. I have a dad who does coffee dates with his daughter. Every Saturday before whatever activity they're doing, right? They go to a coffee shop. They leave home 30 minutes early, and they just take that time to sit and have breakfast before she goes on to her activity. Why this works is the same reason a lot of girls really like working with me, as their coach. They know that they have a certain time dedicated just for them. And let me tell you what they're going to do. Having a regular time, if you can do that, if your schedule allows, she will know that she can bring things up to you. She'll know that, oh, I'll be with my dad Saturday at 10. I'll talk to him about it then. I literally had a girl text me yesterday because, she wanted to talk. And this was one of the girls that I worked with. She was a client a couple months ago. And I'm there for them. I tell them, once we've worked together, you're in the village. Text me, we can talk. And so even while we're working together, They may bring things to their sessions, but things also happen outside of their sessions, right? When they know they have that protected time, I promise you, just like she did yesterday, she's like, Ms. Bell, I have so much I need to tell you. She had a list, literally. She came with her list of things to talk about. Your daughter will do the same if she knows she has that time with you. That said, for the times that she comes to you, she needs to know you're there for her. If you really want to encourage her to come to you, you can't tell her enough that you're there for her. Sometimes this looks like dropping everything in the moment. Now, I'm not talking about, Mom, I forgot my homework, or Mom, I forgot, my PE bag, or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about on an emotional level, when she really needs you to be there for her. And you can tell, okay? So we talked about it before. Don't say I'm a hypocrite. I am not talking about, keeping her from being responsible. I'm talking about reminding her regularly that you are there for her when she needs you emotionally, okay? Sometimes even with the scheduled time, things happen, and she needs to still know that she can come to you when they do, okay? Now, if you're thinking, I just have to get through these teen years, or, soon they'll be over, and you're just kind of just bringing this whole idea that you have to make it through, or it's something you have to endure, let me challenge you to shift your perspective on that. If the goal is really to build a connection, if the goal is really to improve communication, right? I'd love for you to instead look at the teen years as a process. And I just read an article about this not too long ago, but think about it as, I wish I could tell you, I'll find the article if you're interested in, but the author of the article had a really good suggestion, and that's to look at the teen years as something you can work with rather than work against. And so what that'll do is make this time that they're teenagers look more like an opportunity you can look forward to, and not something that, the world has already told us we have to dread, because you don't have to, all right? And I want you to think about what you know about your teen, and I'll go through a list of a couple things to give you some ideas. But you want to take what's just naturally happening with them developmentally, just their nature, and use it to your advantage, okay? So this will look like knowing that teenagers love relationships, right? This is the time in their lives where their friends are so important, right? Let them tell it. Their friends know more than you do. What if you use the fact that they're so into relationships to your advantage? Okay, how do you do that? You let them know you're interested in them. You let them know you respect them. Let me tell you, you don't have to be, that hip dad or the coolest mom. Sometimes, I know we try to do that as parents. Teens don't like fake. If that's not you, don't let it. I'm not that. I am exactly who I am for my clients. I'm corny. I'm a little, quirky, whatever, sarcastic. I just, have my personality. I don't change it. What they want is real. They want you to be exactly who you are. Then they'll trust you. Okay. You don't have to pretend. What else do you know about teenagers? They're kind of self-centered, right? They think the world revolves around them. How can you use that to your advantage? Say there's something you want to talk about, right? You have an idea or whatever. Connect it to them. If you can make it so that whatever you want to convey directly impacts them, you'll have her attention, okay? You'll have her attention. And if you can't make that connection, when all else fails, ask her opinion. They love to give you their opinions. So if nothing else, ask her what she thinks about something, okay? That'll show her that she's valued. That'll show her you respect her opinion. That empowers her. That builds her confidence, okay? What else do we know? Teenagers are arrogant, right? Arrogant is such a strong word. They think they know everything. They do. right? They're at the stage in their lives where we as parents know nothing and they know everything. What do they always tell you? You just don't get it, right? We know that we get it because we've been there, done that, but they let them tell it. They know better. So use that to your advantage and let them teach you. You know, they are experts in their own right with so many things that maybe we aren't as good at, right? Technology, let them teach you. Any opportunity where they can teach you something, use that to your advantage. It'll build a connection. It'll build her confidence, okay? Before I wrap it up, I just have one final thought, and I said it already, and I'm going to say it again. The most important thing you can do to really improve that connection and build that closeness, right, so that she comes to you with the big stuff, is to constantly remind her that you're there for her, okay? That's why, like I told you, when I'm working with the client, they get laser sessions. They, things happen. Laser sessions meaning, they can, text me and we can hop on the phone for 20 minutes just to sort through whatever happens. Okay, they need to know that you'll be there for them. And I know, with demanding schedules and demanding careers at times, that is hard to do. I get it. But, whenever you can figure out a way to do that for those emotional situations where she needs someone to go to, she needs to know you'll be there. You don't ever want her to feel like there's, other things in your life that are more important than her. Because you know what's going to happen? She's going to look elsewhere. And that's not what you want, okay? So, not when they're, forgetting something, but when they need you to really be there to listen. Okay. Does that make sense? Do you see the difference? Because I'm all about empowering them to be responsible, but I really know how important it is for them to know that when they need you to be there for them emotionally, they know. You can't tell them enough. Okay. That's really all I have for this evening. I am really grateful for those of you who showed up tonight. Thank you so much to those of you who are joining me on the replay. Post your comments if you have any questions. I'm here for you, okay? We're doing this all the way through Christmas Eve. If there's anything I can do to help support your relationship with your teenage daughter, to help you improve communication and build her confidence, let me know. We'll talk about it. Good night.